The token is like when you go to like a rave or a festival or whatever. Somebody else in the community gave the example of a Rolex. If you build a collection of Rolexes as an investment, that means you own Rolexes. You have no say in what happens with the company of Rolex. You're not a shareholder of Rolex simply because you hold Rolexes. So, all right, here we go. On the screen right now, you can see Reddit. This is the r/Quant network. As you can see, posted 2 days ago by Gilbert Verdian. I'm going to butcher the English accent again because I just love doing it.
Here we go.
So here we go. To the fake account makers commenting on things on LinkedIn. TCKM, Castile Burglar, Darren J, Fola Luaki. Comments like the following on random posts. This is a quote. It's disheartening to witness the lack of tangible progress from Quant Network and the team, led by Gilbert Verdian. Many of us invested in Q&T with high expectations, only to see promises that haven't materialized into meaningful outcomes. Rather than fostering growth and genuine engagement with the community, it feels as though the focus has been on maximizing token sales at the expense of investor trust. This lack of transparency and progress leaves token holders feeling misled and disillusioned. A clear and accountable direction is needed to restore confidence and move forward. End quote. So Gilbert continues. What do you exactly think you're entitled to and hope to achieve? We've never operated like a meme coin that only markets and posts to shield their token. So-called community engagement that you used to or are expecting. Our goals haven't changed and our enterprise focus is the same as it always has been. We're bringing enterprise to blockchain and have been doing so since we started. Our efforts are best placed for mainstream adoption. You've all seen the public news from clients and the projects we've been working on. What promises are you referring to? Everything that was set out in the 2018 business paper has been achieved and more. I suggest you go and read it again. And also understand the details in the paper that a utility token is not an investment and holders are not investors. The token gives access to the platform. Regarding price of the token, ? You expect do something to increase price? This is set by the market, no matter whatever is delivered. It's been the constant when X since 2018.
Okay, break it down here because he's going to
what?
Something else, or is it one port? It's kind of one port still. Sorry, it's been the constant. Sorry for the interruption. This is Quamfy Show material, man.
It's been the constant when X since 2018, when exchanges, when tier 1 exchanges, when Binance. Well, that was all delivered. When dashboards. The LangChain dashboard has been live for years. When clients, when this, when that. Why don't you put your efforts instead into creating new multi-chain dApps or issue a new interoperable tokens on different blockchains or create bridges with a few clicks on the developer platform? The developer portal has enabled direct Quant payment to the platform for years for any user, developer, or corporate use. Regarding staking, what was said recently? Quote, yes, the concept of RCGs was explored and tested back then. We had live testing and people helped run those tests to learn from it. It was paused due to regulatory uncertainty, which when you look back at that time, regulators were taking action against Coinbase, Ripple, staking, lending, learn programs, etc. It was an extremely risky environment. So we had to pause the concept until things were certain. But we've kept working on the ideas in the background. So now, after getting regulatory and legal clarity, we will be introducing different forms of staking and rewards to encourage even more participation on Overledger platform and ecosystem. Some of you noticed changes in the terms and conditions recently, end quote. So yes, we are working with the goal to bring more users to the developer platform with rewards. Whatever you imagine of doing no work to earn passive income isn't how things work in this world. If you expect us to stop working with corporates, institutions, and focus on marketing to a community of crypto users, then that's not us. Please, sell whatever bags you have and focus on a meme coin that you feel happier with who constantly post and engage with their quote-unquote community.
Yeah.
So that
Mic
was...
drop.
Say again?
Mic drop.
Mic drop, yeah. That was the entire post.
I interrupted you. Sorry for that. I didn't expect you to read the whole thing in one go, but you did.
I did, yeah, because I think it is important, right? In the beginning, this quote, right? This is obviously the reason why Gilbert felt he needed to post this, but it goes way deeper than this. He comes up with the example of meme coins, and he closes with meme coins. And if we look at what the current sentiment is in the community, what I've seen from Quamfy Lounge, main, but also in Counchill and also on X, is that a lot of people feel belittled in a way. In Dutch, they'd say met een kluitje het riet ingestuurd. It's like just tell somebody just to fuck off. Huh? Scolded. Yeah, I think that could be a nicer way. But essentially, they've been told just get a grip, grow a pair, or get the fuck out. That's how they. That's how they felt. I'm paraphrasing here, obviously. So, it's the bit of if you expect us to stop working with corporates, institutions, and focus on marketing to a community of crypto users, then that's not us. Please sell whatever bags you have and focus on a meme coin that you feel happier with, who constantly post and engage with their community. Yeah. So here is a very important part of what bothered people, because a lot of people were in here. I mean, if you ask anybody, they were all in since day one, right? Pre-ICO, pre-sale, somewhere in 2015. They got approached by Gilbert and asked to buy. Those are the stories, obviously. But there were some people that were early, and they referred back to promises made back then. And now they think they're entitled to whatever. So that's one part. People that watch the Quamfy Show know, right? We've always been adamant about this as well, that we bought a token. We bought a token, and we made the analogy like back in 2021 already, that the token is like when you go to like a rave or a festival or whatever. Somebody else in the community gave the example of a Rolex. If you build a collection of Rolexes as an investment, that means you own Rolexes. You have no say in what happens with the company of Rolex. You're not a shareholder of Rolex simply because you hold Rolexes. And I think that analogy fits this pretty well, right? So say we're going to a festival, you go there, you take out your card or your cash, you buy a bunch of tokens, and the tokens allow you to get your drinks, your food, and if there's any activities, you can pay with the tokens there. Why? So you don't have to walk around with cash, but also because the tokens are more convenient for the business, blah, 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 blah. But it doesn't give you any rights when it comes to seeing the DJ or having any influence on the programming or whatever else. And that's perfectly logical to us back then, or when we are there in that situation. But for now, within crypto, we feel that it gives us certain rights. Well, we all know that that is not the case, because then this would be a security, and then all you people begin talking about how Quant is then a security, and then that is a problem again. So we spoke about this. We thought consensus was there, but apparently there's still a lot of people that thought that they had those rights. And Gilbert now coming out and saying it is different than when Tim and I say it.
See it.
Right? Because now it is quote unquote real.
It's always been real though.
It always has been.
But it's realer than real now, I guess.
Yeah, now it has been said. And that hurts, right? It's like being in a friendship with somebody and you never you stop talking to each other, and you're like, yeah, what's going on? And then eventually you call them up, and they're like, yeah, I just don't like you anymore. Until then, it was just maybe some hope somewhere in limbo, and now the hammer dropped, and now you know. So it could. I can understand that that's a shock to some people. Yeah, really working hard not to judge here. And I did implicitly. Promises when X, when this, when that, when tier 1, when Binance, etc. was all delivered. And in the light of this, I'm not really sure why Gilbert brought this up here, because he doesn't take the point home, in my opinion. It is obviously in line with what's being said in the beginning, right? The introductory, disheartening, blah, 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 this and that. He's just stating the facts about what happened since 2018 and what they achieved. But because of all this, when this and that, and the constant begging for attention, begging for recognition, begging for confirmation, begging for dates, for announcements, etc., we get problems with this. Corporates, institutions, banks, and governments, right? And we're getting to what Tim and I think on the reasons why this was written, and so on. But those types of communications from us to the team, or even worse, directly to partners or potential partners, is what makes everything really, really sticky, really, really complicated, and potentially damaging. And this is not my opinion. This is what Gilbert wrote after there was an Oracle meeting, if I remember correctly, and people were in chat going when moon and so on. We still don't know which community it was, but it were crypto people and folk from corporations, institutions, banks, governments probably don't even know what is meant per se, but it raises questions and it damages reputation. That was, as far as I know, the main reason, the main catalyst why communications were halted. Why, to use words of the community, Gilbert shunned the community. Why the AMAs stopped. Because people within our community misbehaved and to an extent broke trust with the company. And obviously that was not everybody, but it happened. And that is a big problem. What also is the case, right? The staking and the remote connected gateways, the regulatory uncertainty. I was also not aware of this. I said this a bunch of episodes ago as well. I cannot remember any formal communication that it was the case. We know there was radio silence after we turned in our feedback forms from the experiment, which I participated in, ran a gateway, did all the jobs and the tasks, filled in the forms and so on. And we never heard back from them. And I truthfully cannot remember. I have no active memory of and any message like this. But this was communicated, this quote, in the Telegram channel roughly a month and a half to 2 months ago. So we know it is coming, and now everybody wants to know when. And that's the new question, right? There's always a new when. The problem with this, and this is my opinion specifically on this, is market manipulation. And there's very clear rules when it comes to companies on the stock market. You cannot bring out news that could influence price or sentiment during market hours. In crypto, there's no such rule like that yet. But the problems begin when Gilbert now says, probably in January. If they release staking early, because the whole reason we want to know when is so we can reevaluate our positioning. That is the reason. Don't lie to yourself. Don't lie to us. You want to know when, so you know when to sell and buy. That's the sole reason. You're not interested in a network, 99%. You want to make money, which is fine, right? In the end, right? Be honest, we're all here to make money. Even though some love the project more than others and the technology, etc., which is also fine. If they say we're going to launch in January and things move faster than anticipated, which is super rare, but it can happen, and they decide to launch in December, you're going to be pissed. And you're gonna scream market manipulation. If they launch on time, that's also going to be a problem, because if the price then dumps because other people will wait to sell into the volume, which always happens, buy the rumor, sell the news. You guys made it up, we made it up. That's also a problem, because then it is also quote unquote market manipulation, and they have been accused of quote unquote market manipulation in the past around the exchanges that launched, about the gateway news, a ton of other stuff. There's always people that find news that they can then leverage to accuse some entity of manipulation. And if they delay, which is the most likely part, right? So they say January and it becomes March. Then they have 2 months of constant, why no communication? What is going on? Blah, 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 blah. And then it's also manipulation because, oh, yeah, you saw us all and we all bought in. They cannot win with an announcement like that. And that's just facts, because that happened in the past and it will happen again. So all these questions and concerns that people have, they are valid, they're understandable, but they are all in some way, shape, or form damaging, and they are bound by law, right? For a lot of things. And yeah, and that's when we get people that think they have rights in the introduction, feel that they need to vent on LinkedIn, and this is where we get to our opinions, and then go apparently so far that something happens that a CEO of a company needs to come into a Telegram group to have a conversation about this. And then 2 months later, apparently, the problem escalated or is still there. Because why else would they bring this up? And I say they because I doubt that Gilbert decided this on his own. But something is going on. And Tim, I've been talking for a long time.
Yeah, you have.
What are your thoughts on this? And thank you for giving me my soapbox.
Yeah, I tried to interrupt you, but I figured out I shouldn't be doing that. Let me make a timestamp first before I start rambling.